All right, pregame thoughts, Padres and the Braves. Game 2 of this wild card series coming up tonight, a little after 5:30 at Petco Park. This one is going to be on ESPN2. Yesterday, it was obviously on ESPN, but it's going to be the Mets and the Brewers at 4:30, I believe. That's going to be the ESPN game. So, ESPN2, it's still going to be the same TV crew for those that are going to be watching from your couch or at a bar, not at Petco Park. The pitching matchup tonight, Joe Musgrove on the mound for the Padres, and Max Fried gets the start for the Atlanta Braves. This should be a good pitching matchup. Yesterday going in, I felt really good about Michael King. And as I said on the show yesterday after that win, it was a must-win game, I felt like yesterday, with that advantage that they had, especially considering that Max Fried was going to be pitching in game 2 here tonight. I'm not saying I don't have confidence in Joe. I do. He's been pitching really well. I was reading Kevin Acey's Padres Daily newsletter earlier this morning, and he was saying how Joe, if you take out that like really bad 6-run like inning that he had against the Giants that one start, he had an ERA of I think under 120. So he has been insanely good for most of the time, other than that one inning, since coming back off the IL. So he is in postseason form, and I have no doubt that he is going to be locked in. I mean, during the pregame introductions yesterday, for those that didn't see or they weren't at the game, when they showed Joe and introduced him on the Jumbotron, the crowd went nuts, but Joe had the straight competitor face, and he wasn't even pitching, but he didn't wave or smile or anything like that. It seemed like he was already locked in and ready to get down to business yesterday. So love that. And this is someone that can shut down this Braves lineup, I think. He's got that ability. And then the Padres, they have, I wouldn't say the big advantage in terms of health and availability with the Braves tonight with the bullpen, because the Braves' top 2 relievers didn't have to pitch yesterday. And then some of the other guys that pitched can go a couple days in a row. Jackson, he threw 22 pitches yesterday. He can go again today. We'll see about Bummer. That would be 3 days in a row. But Iglesias, Jimenez, maybe those guys both will try to cover more than 3 outs. We'll see how long Max Fried goes in this game. The Padres, they though can go with Suarez back-to-back days today. They have Tanner Scott fresh. Jason Adam pitched really well yesterday. He can go back-to-back days. So I still give the advantage to the Padres just overall with the bullpen, because I like their bullpen better than the Braves. But it's not the advantage, in my opinion, that it was going into yesterday, coming off the Braves playing that doubleheader. That's what I would say about that. The lineup is out for the Padres. And before getting to that, I did want to dive into Max Fried and his numbers. What has he done recently? His last outing came on the 27th against Kansas City, and he went 8 2/3 innings. So I think if you're the Atlanta Braves here tonight, you're hoping that Fried can give you 7 innings. I mean, he showed it that last outing, 98 pitches, and he almost had a complete game there. The 2 outings before that or 3 outings were 6 innings. The outing before that was 7 innings. So they're hoping probably 7 innings and then go to their 2 top relievers who ended up not pitching yesterday. They're going to be fresher, and they get the win that way. Obviously, their offense is going to have to score off of Musgrove, going to have to score off of hopefully the Padres' high leverage relievers, because the Padres, they're trying to go win this game today. They do not want to go to a game 3. I know that Dylan Cease is on the mound, and they would have the advantage there. I think Ronaldo Lopez would throw for the Braves tomorrow. Him and maybe Charlie Morton out of the bullpen. We would see what that would look like. But you just don't want to take your chances. You know, we've seen it this postseason where Corbin Burns pitched for the Orioles yesterday, and they lost that game. They lost 1-0. It happens. So get it done today. Padres lineup is out. Both lineups are out, by the way. I will start with the Braves lineup, though, because they are the visiting team, obviously. It's a lot of the same guys as yesterday. Sean Murphy, though, he is going to be catching. So here it is. Michael Harris is leading off, and Ozzie Albies. Marcelo Zuna's DHing. Matt Olson's at first. Jorge Soler's in right. Ramon Laureano's in left. Gio Urshela is at third. Sean Murphy is catching. Orlando Arcia is at short. He's batting ninth, with Fried obviously pitching tonight. 5:38 again is the first pitch. For the Padres side, as you can see here, Luis Arraez, He is DHing. Tatis is in right. Profar's in left, still batting third. Manny's at third. Merrill is in center. Bogey at short. Donovan Solano, he is at first base again tonight. Crony is at second, batting eighth. And then Higgy is catching. So still got the same catcher. Crony still at second, but he is batting eighth. He was a little bit higher in the order yesterday, but it's understandable. You want to get as many right-handers there in that order before getting to Crony, who is a lefty. And if you're the Padres, you're probably thinking that Fried is going to go as long as he can tonight because he's their best starting pitching option. Now, they've got to treat this like a one-game playoff because their season's going to be over if they lose this game to the Padres tonight. So Fried, if he doesn't get off to a great start, maybe he does get out of there early. But even the guys above Jake in this lineup, Solano, Merrill can get, or excuse me, Bogarts can get one too. But especially Solano, Merrill, Manny, those guys there, obviously, I don't think I have to say, Arise can do, provide damage, not home runs, but like getting on base, putting a ball in a gap, down the line. He can do that. Tatis, same thing, Profar. But the guys in more like right in front of Cronenworth, even as righties, they can still do the job. And then Merrill's a lefty as well that's there. And you got Arise who's a lefty. So if you do look at it, I mean, Schilt did a pretty good job here tonight with this lineup of having lefties balanced throughout the order. And you do that, obviously, because you want to try it as good as you can to prevent a lane for an opposing reliever to come in. And you want that reliever to have to at least face, if he's a righty, have him face at least one lefty. If he's a lefty, it face at least one righty. So that's the lineup here tonight. 5:38 first pitch. With Joe, I mean, could we see sort of the same attack plan by Joe? We know he loves using that curveball or the sweeper. He's implemented that this year, and that could be really nasty and fall off the table at times. Could he do that? Could he follow that kind of same plan that Michael King had last night? I'm going to be interested in that. Petco, I feel like the energy is going to be the same as yesterday. Obviously, it helped when the Padres, they got out to that early advantage. You get the lead, and, you could just take off from there. So we'll see what happens there tonight. Getting up early, obviously, would be a big advantage. Michael King, he was talking about this last night, when the Padres got up early. Michael King was going to go to a different pitch, but instead he went to Higgy and stuck with that sinker because he just wanted to go after the Braves hitters. Don't try to be cute. You have a lead. Go attack those guys. Make them beat you. And so we'll see what happens there with Joe on the mound tonight. But there's no one I'd rather have on the mound in a possible series clinching scenario. And then if they lose tonight, Dylan Cease is not the worst option as well. And then the bullpen that the Padres have, that wouldn't be the worst. And I'm not even looking at the division series right now. The Padres, they haven't accomplished anything. One game does not get you through. They've got to win another. And hopefully they can do that tonight. Hopefully I'll see some of you at Petco tonight. Can't wait. We've got a few hours until first pitch.